It's the 60th minute of an Atleti match. Winning or losing, Diego Simeone is making faces and moving like he has excruciating pain in his kidneys, as he always does. And winning or losing, Antoine Griezmann is either warming up to come on or exchanging pleasantries with his teammate as he enters the pitch as a substitute once again. Again and again this has gone on. It's Groundhog Day, every match day for Griezmann, but why? Is it the pecking order at Atletico or is something else going on? Hey, I'm Adrian, welcome to Rabona TV, and spoiler alert, yes, there is something else going on. Griezmann is caught in the middle of two teams that do not want to either A, spend big money on his wages still, or B, don't want to pay 40 million euros for his service. What do his minutes have to do with it? We'll get into that in this video. We'll look at Barca's point of view, Atleti's point of view, the structure of his loan deal, and of course, how it must feel to be Griezmann. Pretty shit, I'll say that much. Know what makes following football a lot less shit though? Our sponsors, OneFootball, and their brilliant app. I've been working with OneFootball since 2018, man. They've been backing Rabona TV for a long time now, and the reason I keep using their app is down to simplicity and customization, most importantly. And now you can watch matches live within the app, an added bonus. So, after downloading the app using the link in the description, go through the competitions, clubs, and players that mean the most to you, give them a follow, and see your home feed get custom tailored to your liking with brilliant articles and more. Plus, watch behind the scenes videos, highlights, and interviews. And of course, depending on your geographic location, watch actual football matches from around the world. I mean, people in England and Ireland can even watch Serie A matches. But there's so much more you can do with OneFootball, so guys, use the link in the description for a free download and stay up to date on everything in the football world. If it's happening, OneFootball will be informing you. So thanks for sponsoring this video, guys. All right, let's get into this mess. Through no fault of his own, Antoine Griezmann is yet another Barca player, or I guess former Barcelona player at this point, that was handed an insane contract during the Bartomeu years. And so with the club's finances in a terrible state, Laporta and co had to pull out all of the levers and stops in order to reduce their salary mass, renegotiate contracts, defer wages, and of course, sell and loan out some of their players. Atletico Madrid became interested in bringing back Antoine Griezmann, knowing that they had a ton of leverage in the deal when it comes to the wages and the fee they would pay for him. What Barca and Atletico agreed upon is a little bit murky, as various trusted outlets are reporting conflicting things when it comes to whether the 2-year deal was always agreed upon, or whether it was technically a 1-year deal that would easily be triggered as a 2-year deal based on appearances. Regardless, that's kind of pointless for the most part, as the real meat of this deal, the meat of concern, is the 40 million obligation to purchase Griezmann, should he reach appearance requirements agreed between Barca and Atleti. But where the 1-year versus 2-year deal does matter is how both Barca and Atleti interpret the appearance requirements for the 40 million euro obligation. To put it in plain terms, the clause that would trigger the obligatory 40 million euro purchase by Atleti is that should Griezmann feature for 45 minutes in 50% of the matches that he is available for is an important detail we'll go over later by the way, but should he feature for 45 minutes in 50% of the matches he is available for during his loan, then the purchase clause will be triggered automatically. But that's where the 1-year versus 2 years conundrum kicks in, really, and is likely going to ensure a date in court between the two clubs. Hold the court thought for a second, though. During Griezmann's first season on loan, the 21-22 season, he was a regular in that he played 45 minutes or more in 81% of Atleti's matches that he was available for that season. Looking through Antoine Griezmann's appearances this season, I mean, if you weren't aware of his contractual or loan situation, you would be pretty confused. Not once has the Frenchman started a match this season, but to his credit here, he has scored in pretty much every other appearance. Sure, his time at Barcelona will have hurt his reputation a little bit, and yes, Atletico do indeed have a gifted attackers to provide competition for Griezmann, but when compared to how he was utilized last season, the difference is massive. So far this period, he has averaged 27.5 minutes, but has still managed to score 3 goals in that stretch, which is quite impressive from a man who hasn't started a single match, right? It's no secret at this point that Griezmann's limited minutes have nothing to do with his quality as a player, and everything to do with his strange contractual situation. Following his cameo against FC Porto, in which he scored the game-winning goal with the final kick of the match, Griezmann had this to say of his situation. Quote, "It is what it is. It's out of my hands. I'm grateful to God for being here. My family is happy. I of course want more, but I'm going to give everything I have in the minutes I have. I feel like a man of the club. I am happy here and only want to play here and give everything for the club, for Cholo, and for the fans. A dedicated dude. For Simeone, everything points toward him wanting Griezmann at the club. The few minutes are purely out of necessity, not out of preference, but he has tried to be as encouraging as possible when he speaks, speaking about how well Griezmann has played in those 30 minutes and how he has echoed what others at the club have said. They'd rather 30 great minutes from Griezmann than 60 average ones. That's the glass half full view of things, of course. The interpretation of the contract is what makes it complicated and where Barcelona and Atleti disagree on things. Let me try to break this down in the most coherent way possible. First off, you have to remember that his appearances that contribute to the clause are only for the matches he has been available for. So if he is to get injured, that immediately cuts down the pool of matches that count towards the clause, meaning the number gets closer and closer to 50%. More matches he's available for and doesn't play in the 45 minutes, the better for Atleti when it comes to the clause. But if Griezmann was to play a few matches above 45 minutes and then get a lengthy injury, that's a problem for Atleti as it cuts that ratio down. Now, as to whether or not added time counts towards the official count of 45 minutes is sort of up in the air, but Atleti's actions of playing Griezmann for just 30 minutes points to either A, they do indeed count, or B, they're just being overly cautious. This nearly bit them against Porto when the match went to, what was it, like 11 minutes of added time? Griezmann was getting dangerously close to hitting that 45-minute threshold. He played 41 minutes in that match. Now comes the big point of contention between the two clubs and their interpretation of the contract. As mentioned earlier, Griezmann played for 45 minutes or more in 81% of Atleti's matches in his first year of his loan at Atletico. According to Barcelona, they believe that the clause has already been triggered because of that first season. Their belief is that the contract states that the first season is the only one that counts toward the clause and that Atletico owe them 40 million euros now. Atleti, however, believe that the obligation to purchase Griezmann at 40 million euros would only be triggered should he feature for 45 minutes or more in 50% of the matches he's available for across the two loan seasons, 2021-22 and this season. So again, Barcelona believe the terms apply to the first season, in which case Atleti have to pay up, while Atleti believe that the terms apply to both seasons, in which Griezmann hasn't hit the threshold yet, and explains why they are managing his minutes so meticulously. They have no intention of reaching that 50% threshold. So it's a strange deal because it's not just appearance-based, it's appearance-based in a sense, but an appearance only counts if he plays for 45 minutes or more. Looking past whether the appearances count in the first season or across both seasons, Atleti's game here is to continue on with these cameos as a way of trying to force Barcelona into negotiating the price down for Griezmann. Why? Because if they don't, then Griezmann and his insane wages of 20 million euros per season will be back with Barcelona come June of 2023, and he'll be on their books once again, forcing them to find another solution to offload him or others to make room for him. Atleti know this and are playing hardball, essentially, with their interpretation of the agreement, so you can see why this could take some litigation. And of course, this isn't the first time that Barcelona and Atleti have clashed over a transfer of Antoine Griezmann, as him signing for the Catalan club was viewed as controversial, at least for 120 million euros. Griezmann's release clause dropped from 200 million to 120 million in July of 2019, while Atleti believed that the agreements had already been made in March of that year, so Barca should have paid 200 million as they see it. In the end, 120 million was the price, and it is still being paid to Atleti as it is amortized over 5 years. So as of now, we don't know what will happen. Will Barcelona push this all the way and take Atleti to court, or will they just accept it, take the loss, and negotiate a price for Griezmann at the end of the season? The other outcome, which is far more unlikely of course, being a return to Barca where he plays out his last season with his massive wages, or they send him to another club. The guy's 31 now, so coupled with those big wages, not so appealing to many clubs. Anyways, I thank you for watching this video. I'm Adrian, and if you enjoyed it, then do be sure to subscribe for more. But beyond that, enjoy the football. Ciao.